Hey, what's up? How you doing, Ryan?
Good, Eisel. How are you doing?
I'm all right. This is broadcasting from sunny, fabulous, beautiful Dahong, China. I live near the border with Myanmar. Well, this is the middle of winter here, and that's my laundry hanging. But you see the palm trees out the window?
Yeah.
I'm in one of the few places in the world where winter is more beautiful than where you are in California. This is a really beautiful and fascinating part of the world.
Yeah, it looks like California, other than this year when it's kind of actually rainy. But yeah, we got all the palm trees and all too.
This is the tropical edge of China on the border with Myanmar, southwest corner, and it's also the Theravada Buddhist edge. I just heard you mention before that you identify as a Buddhist. What form of Buddhism are you attached to? Do you have a temple? Do you have a tradition or a monastery?
Yeah, it's not Mahayana or Theravada. It's just I right by my house here is like one of the most I guess important Tibetan Buddhist centers in California. Dalai Lama's been through here several times. I go to by my parents' house. There's I think the largest Buddhist temple in the Western Hemisphere. So I pop by there when I go. But I don't align myself with any particular like organized school, even though or religion part of it. Buddhism, the way I like to describe it, is kind of a philosophy / psychology, and the external stuff is not necessary, but it's important. But yeah, I don't go to any temples or anything like that on a regular basis.
So I don't know if you know about my background. You and Angie, I mean, whenever you guys comment on me or when you comment on Cheetah, you tend to start by saying you haven't actually watched my videos. You say that about Cheetah too. It's like you haven't actually seen his videos, but and then the comments come.
Don't take it personally. I mean, yeah, we as content creators actually spend a lot more time on the content creation than the content consumption.
I was in mid-sentence, but I was going to say, on that example, you probably don't know that I was a scholar of Buddhism for more than 10 years. I've done deep, complex textual study. I learned how to read Pali, the language of the original canon. So I actually became a recognized expert in Buddhist philosophy. So that's a whole part of my background that I think you might not know about me because, as you say, you don't watch my videos.
Okay, cool. Good to know. We need more Buddhists out there, vegan and non-vegan. I think more Buddhists in the world. The world is going to be more chill, less wars, more enlightened.
No, I don't believe that at all. I used to live in Cambodia. Cambodia is a Buddhist country, and it's home to some of the most extreme acts of genocide and violence, what have you. I'm not a rose-colored...
let's not go there, but I'm just saying in general, yeah, of course there's exceptions and stuff like that. But what brought you on here tonight, Isa? What do you want to
No, I was just opening by saying...
Okay.
No, I just think it's interesting for you because you identify as Buddhist. As I say, it's an interesting example of something where there's a whole side of my character and my career that I think you guys don't know about, although it is on my YouTube channel. I mean, I'd also say, in terms of this thing of having people like Cheetah on, and where, I understand, for a very long time I was very encouraging to Cheetah myself. I don't know if he's told you, I had a really positive influence on his life. He went back to school because of me. That's stated publicly on YouTube. He's also discussed it with me privately and in podcasts with me. There was a time when I was really encouraging him to get his life together and go back to school, and where, we had a real friendship. On the other hand, like currently, the level of slander and defamation that he engages on routinely on his channel, even towards someone like me as a former friend of his, he has stated that I'm facing criminal charges as a wife beater for assaulting my ex-wife, a woman I'm divorced from, which is not only not true, he knows it's not true because he was my friend. He knows about my legal situation, and he's saying things like that just to get attention. So, I mean, this is someone who's engaging in really destructive defamation that could go to court, even in the United States of America, and defamation that does really harm people. One example is Anna Scanlon. You may not know that situation, but Anna Scanlon has a PhD in history. She's someone who could really make a positive contribution to veganism. Many ways. Just say she's intelligent and she's a vegan and she's a PhD.
Well, we're heading, Eisel. Okay, you've given a couple examples there. Where's the conclusion headed towards? Like, you're saying he says some scandalous stuff about people, and I know firsthand what that's like, because last summer he said lots of scandalous, really horrible stuff about us, so there's no disagreement there. So where are you going?
Well, I think my point was the first thing I said at the top of the topic. I don't think it's possible to engage in this kind of critique or even this kind of cooperation with people without seeing the primary source document, without actually watching the video, without actually reading the book you're reviewing, or whatever it is.
No, I mean,
that's all.
Okay, let me back up a second here. It's not like we've not seen any of his content. We just don't watch all his YouNows. We don't watch all his videos. But of course, we've seen some. We've seen enough to know who he is, roughly what he's about. Yeah, we don't catch every last thing. So I want to clear that. A lot of people say, well, you should have done your homework. Like, no one has seen all his stuff, unless the most fanatical hater or lover of his channel, which we're not. So yeah, we know what's going on. In fact, before like this debate, I went through and rewatched some of these critical videos where I called him out on, like, say, his definition of vegan, the negative health consequences. So I just want to get that out of the way. I think I know enough. I don't know everything.
Ryan, I didn't start this off in a confrontational way. I started off by saying I myself used to be a friend with Cheetah.
Actually, I wasn't addressing you. I was addressing others who have accused us of being completely ignorant about what vegan Cheetah does. It's like,
I understand.
We're in the middle. It's like in the middle path. We don't know everything. We're not completely ignorant. We're kind of in the middle. We know enough to have a discussion with him, as I showed tonight.
Okay.
Okay, continue on there.
I just say I also have the experience of trying to be his friend and trying to be supportive and trying to be understanding and trying to assume the best about his intentions. But the reality is we're talking about someone who has acted with real malice, who's really defamed people, who's really slandered people, who's had a negative impact not only on their lives as individuals, but who has had a negative impact on the vegan movement. And the question of, many people don't know this now, because people forget what happened 3 months ago or 6 months ago on the internet. At a time when Cheetah was really supporting me publicly, he had supported me during my fundraiser, I criticized Cheetah even when he was defaming Durian Rider. For me, on point of principle, I came out and said, no, although it's wrong when Durian Rider defamed me, it's just as wrong when Cheetah defames Durian Rider. And that's when Cheetah stopped being my friend. Because from his perspective, I dared to criticize him. At that time, and the defamation he said about Durian Rider maybe wasn't so serious, but he was saying that Durian Rider had HIV/AIDS. He alleged Durian Rider was sleeping with a 16-year-old, that, he was sleeping with Julia Bohr, a number of other lies like that he made about Durian Rider. And at that time, which was immediately after my fundraiser when he'd supported me, I said, look, this is over the line. I don't care if you're my friend or my enemy. I don't care if Durian Rider's my friend or my enemy. Even though Durian Rider may be literally my worst enemy, and I'm still in court with him now, there's a line, and this is the line you don't cross. So that's how I dealt with it, even though I was friends with Cheetah for quite a long time up to that point.
So let me ask you this. Are you issuing a suggestion for... and I wouldn't be offended. Are you offering a suggestion on how to deal with him? Like, cut him off completely? Because, I know him, obviously. I try to make a point to know, most all vegan YouTubers, and I just kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of randomly got to know him just because he was brought out to Los Angeles for that Veg Source conference. So I would know you if you had been out for any various reason or something like that. So anyway, what I'm getting at is when I meet vegans who I disagree with, I don't take a tactic of like cutting them off because they're different. I take a tactic of dialogue, diplomacy, engagement. I find that to be my tactic, my strength, as far as like trying to get my 2 cents over into their brain. But not with me. Packaged in an accepting way, hopefully.
Yeah, but Ryan, chew on it. We're all imperfect human beings. I don't hold you to an impossibly high standard. I really don't. I believe me, and that also relates to my situation with Cheetah. Back when Cheetah, people were asking me to denounce him because he was using the N-word on camera, he was using coarse language and racist terminology and homophobic slurs from time to time. And I am actually very forgiving of other people. You might not guess that about me, but I can remember for a long time saying, well, Cheetah comes from, he's an ex-convict, he does swear, he sometimes says racist things, but, he has good intentions, it's this kind of thing. I went through a long period of being very forgiving towards him. But, you've just claimed that you're into engagement with people. Well, you made no attempt to engage me, and that's fine. We're all human. We only have so many hours in the day.
I have no problem.
But I just say, you don't actually have a code of that kind. When there was a video you disagreed with me, you didn't talk to me. You've never sent me a single email. You never talked to me back when the Durian Rider thing was happening. You never talked to me any stage after that. This is the first time we've ever spoken in any format. You've never sent me a Facebook message.
I never knew who you
And,
were when the Darren Ryder thing was happening. You know, and so many people had taken up your cause. I guess Charles being the main one back then. I mean, I didn't feel any need to like.
I realize that, but that's not my point. Is not to complain that I wanted more attention from you. I didn't. I wasn't asking. My point is,
all right.
You've just claimed that you treat Cheetah the same way you treat everyone else. That you try to engage with somebody where there's a problem, and I'm telling you, really, in practice, that's not true. I'm sympathetic, okay. I understand why, but no, you are choosing to ally yourself with Cheetah and not even to talk to me when there's controversy.
I'm going to talk right now. All right, so here is my response. As I said, I kind of got to know Cheetah through random circumstance. If you were out here, I would have gotten to know you. If Emily from Bite Size Vegan were out here, I would get to know her. Yeah, some people I do get to make friends with online, you know, but I'm saying if I had known you, we would have had conversations, obviously. So you know, you're. I just don't know you that well, Eisel. So you just have to. It's not personal. I don't know what you're trying to get from me. I engage people who I know. That's what I'm saying. Maybe I should have qualified that. I tend to engage people who I know rather than picking someone at random who doesn't really know me at all. Maybe they know of me, but we don't have any kind of thing. I'm less inclined to reach out to someone.
Ryan, my point is. Ryan, you know, I'm just saying, you set out your principle. I set out my principle. My principle was, even if it's Cheetah defaming Durian Rider, I stand up and say, no, that's wrong. Even though Durian Rider's not my friend, Durian Rider's my enemy, we actually have a court case in Chiang Mai, Thailand, etc., still on point of principle. And you replied to that. I understand your position. You said, well, your principle is that when there's a controversy, you try to engage people constructively, whether or not it's Cheetah or anyone else. So my response to this, I understand.
Uncertain circumstances. I don't feel that I'm the. It's like the United States. Like, you know, they feel it's like their obligation to go there and correct all the ills on the world political scene. I don't feel like I have such an analogous situation here in the vegan scene. I only step in once in a while. I let the drama unfold because that's really not to reduce what your problems are down to drama, but that's just really not our thing. Our core message is veganism.
But you did start something with me. You made a video attacking me about Nina and Miranda and misrepresenting what the video said. I don't mind. But if your principle was actually to engage with people.
I asked you to apologize, and I explained it in an extremely kind and rational manner. I never made any attack. It's all there for all to see. I never said one bad thing about you.
I just say what you're describing about your MO, which I understand, the human reality is something else. We can't deal with every situation that way. You could have at any point, whether it was the Durian Rider thing or the Nita Miranda thing, you could have at any point sent me an email. And you didn't. That's okay. But I'm just asking you to acknowledge, or, you know, you don't do it now. I'm just saying you can reflect on this. There actually is a big gap to what you're saying your MO is and what your MO actually is in these situations.
No, my MO is engage with people who I already have some kind of relationship of some kind with. It could be just having met someone one time, then I know them. I really don't watch your content. Don't take it personally. I don't watch all that much YouTube content, so I really don't know you much, Eisel, and it's just don't get offended there.
Brian, this started off with you basically trying to claim that you're not supporting Cheetah, and now basically you're acknowledging you do support Cheetah because he's your friend, because you happen to know him. That's very human. I understand. But that's the reality behind what you're saying.
And friend, support and friend. I've met someone a couple times, and I'm not a dick to them, and you're interpreting that as support and friend. It might be, it might not, but you're the one that's taken a logical leap there.
Okay, Ryan. So your position is that I'm wrong, that you actually engage with all these things equally, and you take the time to say, send someone an email when there is a major problem. Like, you know, whether or not just take the same two examples, Durian Rider and Nina Miranda. Okay. But, I mean, you know, Ryan, we're all only human. We all have only so many hours in the day. We all have only so many friends on the internet. I understand that. I really do sympathize. Every day, like, even if it's only 200 people who want to talk to me, there are a lot of people who want my time. There are a lot of people who want to come on my channel. I understand how it is.
Wonderful.
But the reality is, the way you treat someone like Cheetah and the way you treat someone like Durian Rider is very different from the way you treated me. And you have shown zero interest in the facts.
Why do I treat Cheetah and Durian Rider? Can you just briefly, like, get into that?
I'd just
be interesting.
You know the story. Ryan, I don't care. I wasn't asking for your attention. Some of my fans were. I know a lot of people write to you. Right now, look at the comment section. There are still people who, because of the misinformation campaign against me by Vegan Cheetah, think I stole $6,500. Do you think you're neutral in a situation where Cheetah is defaming me? Cheetah is defaming me about criminal allegations about my ex-wife, that I'm a wife beater. Cheetah is defaming me, saying I stole $6,500. Fraud. And you think you're neutral. You think you just engage with everyone equally. You don't. You are taking sides. You're just ignorant of what the sides are.
Okay, stop. First of all,
serious defamation. You just have no interest in what the situation is.
This broadcast is, I give you an equally long list of slanderous things that Cheetah has said about us. How do I react to that?
Really?
Reach out to him to
financial fraud and wife beating, assault, that I'm facing assault charges and that I stole $6,500 in financial fraud. Has he made allegations that serious about you? And you're still his friend? Really?
You can weigh him out.
Because you didn't lift a finger with me, and I'm at the other end of that situation. Yeah, it wouldn't be asking a lot for you, Ryan, for you to, if you think you're neutral, you could have heard two sides of the story, and you never have. You've only taken interest in one side of the story. And those are very serious forms of defamation. It has negative impacts on the vegan movement and negative impacts on me. It's not a game.
First of all, Isel, I never reached out for anyone to help me in my battle of the Cheetah's slander against me. I don't know why you're drawing me into this. You know, so it's a situation. If you have a situation, find it yourself, bro. I mean, I'm not asking you to help me. Why do I need to help you and everyone else why do I answer for vegan Cheetah?
When did I ever ask you to help me?
Why do I answer?
When did I ever ask you to help me?
No, that's what you're saying. You seem to be upset that I'm not on your side or helping you or something like that. If you think I'm
asking you to help me, Ryan, if you think I'm asking you to help me, you're willfully ignoring what I've said to you very clearly. I have never once asked you to help me.
That's what it sounds like. That's if you want to speak more clearly,
what was my actual
shot? I'll give you one more shot, Isel, and I got to move on. I still have more guests here. I'll give you one more shot to explain what your point is quickly, like in 20 seconds. And
Ryan, I hope you've recorded this and you can watch it back later. Ryan, I've explained to you very clearly. I'm a man of principle. Even if Durian Rider is being harmed, even if it is Durian Rider who is being defamed by Cheetah, I say this is bad and wrong, although Durian Rider is not my friend. Okay? Therefore, if you are a man of principle, I'm going to finish this sentence, Ryan, because you have trouble understanding me. If you were a man of principle, Ryan, you would care that someone like Vegan Cheetah is engaging in serious defamation against others, even if they are not your friends. Whether it's Durian Rider or Anna Scanlon or me, Cheetah is someone who has done bad things that have serious consequences. And yes, you have a moral responsibility to do more than the bullshit you have been doing. If you're a man with any shred of moral decency.
All right, Isel. Obviously, yeah, your Buddhism is shining through nice and loud.